tournament. As we've stated, we are concentrating specifically on offshore fishing, and then we branch off into other topics and issues that we think are fun and exciting. And so we want to say welcome back first and foremost. It's a pleasure to have you back. And now it's my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Scott Parsons. And Scott is a very interesting and intriguing guy. And he's mainly known around these parts as being a heck of a king mackerel fisherman. So Scott, first of all, welcome to the show, brother.
Thank you, Rick. I appreciate you having me.
I thought to
Thanks
myself,
so much.
man, what a great opportunity to not only talk to you, but to also share with our crowd a different aspect of offshore fishing.
Sure.
And, you know, king mackerel fishing, I remember when I first moved here into Carteret County back in the mid-'80s, that was the rave. Everybody wanted to go out and go king mackerel fishing.
Yeah.
And if you had about a 20-foot boat or so, you could head out there and
Absolutely.
go out there and catch a king mackerel.
That's right. Yeah.
And one of the joys about king mackerel fishing, and I think you'll agree with me, in my mind, is watching a king mackerel sky out of the water, chasing a bait, because you never know when one's going to actually do that.
That's right.
So again, welcome to the show.
Well, thank you.
And
I appreciate it.
The reason I said that Scott's an intriguing guy is because he's also owner of help me out, Scott.
King mackerel tackle.
King mackerel tackle.
Yes.
King mackerel tackle. So we're gonna get around to that. But I wanted to start by asking you about your recent victories in the king mackerel circuit. Now, it's called the Cape Lookout Shootout.
That is correct, yes.
And your team is out of Carolina Beach.
The team I'm fishing with currently is out of Carolina
And it's
Beach.
called
Team Tide One On.
Tide One On.
Yep.
Okay, so now, as I understand, of course, I follow all sorts of social media, and I noticed that you guys have done particularly well lately
Yes.
in this Cape Lookout Shootout. So let's go back and first of all explain what the Cape Lookout Shootout is and so forth.
It's a series of 3 tournaments that are given. They have a South Division, which is out of Southport, and then they have 3 tournaments that are in the North Division, which is here out of Morehead City. Then they have a championship in November. So the top 30 teams from the South fish against the top 30 teams of the North
For the shootout.
for the championship.
Okay.
And it's each division has 60 boats.
That's it.
That's it.
60 boats.
It's capped
and you're
at
in.
60 boats and you're
Nice.
in. So,
What a great idea.
yeah, it really
It kind of brings
Worked out.
everything into perspective, and
Yes.
you know you've got certain odds essentially,
Yep.
right? And so there's all kind of people like Chris Wilkins and like the guys on the C-Dub that are fishing these tournaments, maybe.
yeah,
or-
they come in and they fish.
Okay.
Absolutely,
All
yes,
right.
yes. So we feel like it give us an opportunity to fish against the best of the best in
Sure.
the area for
Yeah.
sure. So we feel real good when we do well, and we enjoy it.
So as I understand it, you're currently in first place in the Northern Division.
In the South.
In the South.
South,
Yeah, that's
yes.
right, of course.
Yeah.
Out of that, that's right.
Yep.
And so, how many tournaments are involved with these? With the in general, are there more than these 3
No,
tournaments?
the South Division will be the 3 tournaments. We finish up the South in 2 weeks,
Okay.
and we start the North in 4 weeks.
Okay.
the North,
so
the
they
North-
don't overlap.
They do not
necessarily.
overlap. No.
Okay.
So there's several teams that fish the North and fish the South.
Ah.
So
okay.
they fish both. But
Right.
yeah, so
So
I've
it's
got
serious business. I mean.
yeah. Oh yeah. It
I
is.
mean, and
Yeah.
there's serious money on the line, I would
There
imagine.
is, yes.
Ultimately,
Yes.
leads
Yeah.
to some serious
Oh,
change.
absolutely. Yeah.
So, these guys are serious, every bit as serious as the last crowd that we talked with, just on a different scale, so
That's
to
right.
speak.
That's right.
And also, what's interesting is, and what's different is that typically live bait is used
Yes.
for king mackerels, or at least from my experience.
That's correct.
Has that changed at all over time? Or
I
is
mean,
that-
in the tournament spectrum of things, absolutely not. Okay. But
so
I mean,
you go with what works.
That's
don't
right.
you?
But you go on the internet now, and 2 days ago, a guy on the port wall pulling a cigar minnow caught a 42-pound king.
Oh my goodness.
So I mean, and then the next
And
day,
you believe that?
Well, he waded in at chasing
Okay,
tails, and then the next day he caught a 38-pounder doing the same thing.
At the
right
port wall.
At the port wall here
You're
in Morehead
kidding
City.
me.
So I mean,
wow.
It's crazy, but yeah, for us in tournament fishing, it's all about live bait.
Right. So, I know that an important position on any team is the guy that actually throws the cast net.
Absolutely.
And you do that, don't you?
I do. Yes.
And you do it very well, don't you?
Well, I try.
You can open it up.
Yeah, I can open it up a little bit. Yeah.
Now, so when we're talking about live bait, the first thing that comes to my mind, of course, is menhaden.
Correct.
And that's a subject that we're going to cover, by the way, in a future episode, by the way. So don't let me forget. We're going to talk about menhadens and the menhaden fisheries, which are basically gone now. That used to be a staple down here, the menhaden fishery.
Yes.
And it's gone. It's a part of history.
Yes, it is.
And I suppose that helps you guys out a little bit.
It's sort of, it's a double-edged sword. It's a shame for the industry to have left the area, but
Sure.
it's a blessing for us because
Right.
now there's
abundant
bait
again,
around.
aren't
That's
they?
right. Yeah, it was slim pickings back in
But
the day.
they're not the only live bait that you use. Or,
No, it is not. No.
What are some examples of some other fish that you would use?
Bluefish is pretty popular. Thread herring, we call them greenies, is another.
Greenies, okay.
Blue runners, we can catch them out at the buoys out there in the inlet.
Sure.
So yeah, that
Maybe
would
a
be
mullet every once in a while?
yeah, if we can get them, if we can catch them in the cast net, it gets a little tough sometimes. But yeah, mullets are good. Yes.
So that leads then to what sort of rig are we putting on these live baits?
Right.
So first of all, let's go back and let me grab this
Okay.
rod and reel, because
Alrighty.
this would be typical of a live bait rig.
Yes.
And of course, the first thing we like is the fact that the tip is very sensitive.
That's correct. It's a fast action rod, which means if we bend that rod, it's going to bend in the upper third of the blank.
Right.
The rest of the blank doesn't bend.
Yes.
And it has a light tip, so it
light
pulls
tip.
on the bait very lightly as it's
Yes,
going
because
through
we
the water.
want to be as gentle on those baits as possible.
That's
don't
correct.
we?
Yes. Mhm.
So anything else you want to discuss about this particular rig?
Well, it's a 7-foot rod. If somebody's out there wanting to know what they should get, get
Yeah.
something in the 7-foot
Get
area.
your 7-foot rod.
You want a reel that probably holds 400 yards of 20-pound test. Just for the beginner, our reels hold 800 yards of the configuration we use on it. We have that much line on the reel, so if we lose 100 yards or something because something happens, we can. That's right. We can still keep fishing.
Rebound and
That's
fish
right.
from it.
Exactly.
Keep going.
That's right.
And that's bound to happen
Oh
occasionally.
yeah,
isn't it?
absolutely, all the time.
That's a nice setup.
Well,
by the
thank
way,
you.
I gotta
Yeah,
say.
I make all the rods myself.
You make these rods
Yes,
as
sir.
well?
I do. Yep.
At King Mackerel Tackle?
Sure. Yeah.
Man, that's interesting.
Yeah.
So you sound like to me you're sitting around all day listening to Jimmy Buffett making rods and making rigs. You gotta love it. This guy's got the life, you guys. Let me tell you. So, do we want to start by taking a look maybe at how one of these rigs would?
Sure.
This one says a premium large bait rig.
Yeah, that's.
I'm gonna open it
typical.
up. all right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I don't know how
Please-
well it's going to
please
show
go
up
ahead.
on the TV, but
It,
are these 4X? Is that what these are?
They
These,
are. Yeah, they're
okay, so
size number 2s.
size 2.
Yeah, I started the website because I couldn't find if I wanted to buy rigs, I couldn't find a lot of stuff. I mean, typically, you go into a store and you get single strand, double treble rigs, and I knew that there is a lot different out there.
Yeah.
And I knew people
So
like
out
to
of
do
necessity,
different stuff.
basically, you said, you know what, I'm going to have to just
I
start
could
doing
do-
this myself.
That's right, I can do
remember sitting
better.
around making these things up.
That's right. I'll help you here real quick.
Yeah,
And
I'm a
so,
little bit challenged in that
that's-
way.
Well,
You oughta see me on a boat.
Well, when you're the one who puts them together, I guess you're the one who can take them apart. So
Hey, look at this.
Anyhow,
Very easy.
Yeah. So this is what we call our live bait rig, large bait rig.
Yes.
And that's typically used for bait
look at
larger
this.
than 11 inches. That's for
Okay.
bluefish and big blue runners and that kind of stuff.
All right, so you're gonna hook basically the nose or up
That's
in here?
correct. And the
in
nose
this
and then
one?
the other two trebles just fall where they fall and you
Okay, so you're
attach them
not
into the
hooking
fish.
up this second?
Yeah, you put
rig
it in the fish, just
in the
yep,
right
right around the dorsal
dorsal fin,
and then
yep.
the other one will go near the tail.
Okay. So
Yep.
we're all accounted for. We're
That's
hoping
right.
one of those hooks.
That's right. And
We'll,
you wouldn't believe
hook
how
a
many
king
times
mackerel.
that bait gets bit and they miss.
It's
those
crazy,
hooks.
isn't it?
They miss the hooks.
It's no fault of the lure.
That's right.
It's just the fish is smart.
That's right.
I guess.
I don't know how they do it. It's amazing sometimes. So.
Okay, so now how would this differ, say, from a custom king rig?
Well, this is your typical king mackerel rig right here. This is what people normally use when they go fishing. And there's two different kind of configurations. Basically, this one is a single treble rig where it has a single hook in the front and a treble hook in the back.
Okay.
And the other that most people that's popular is a double treble rig, which has two treble hooks. Oop. So
Give you an idea of what our packaging looks
that's
like.
right. And I have them listed. When the customer gets it, they get what type of rig it is, what kind of wire it is.
Oh, I see.
If
There's a
it's
nice little description on
in
the back side here.
yeah,
Tells you how to rig it.
That's right. Sort of tell you how to rig it if you want.
So here's what we want to do. We want to give your website for sure so that people can reach out
Oh, yeah,
and
absolutely.
order these things.
Sure.
And that's www.kingmactak. So
MACTAK.com.
www.kingmactak.com.
Yeah.
And so I had no idea that you were making rods.
Yeah.
How'd you get started in that?
Oh gosh. I started when we moved down here. I started saltwater fishing in 1974
Okay.
on the Jolly Roger Pier out of Topsail Beach.
Ah, all right.
And so, of course, you fall into that clique.
Yeah,
And,
oh, yeah.
So the big thing for those guys back then,
King mackerel fishing off the
king
pier.
mackerel fishing
Right.
off the pier,
Yeah, yeah.
was to take a rod that you bought at the store,
Yeah.
and take all the guides off it and rewrap it with your kind of thread and your colors, and,
Right, okay,
and make
yeah.
your own rod out.
Oh, I see.
And that sort of morphed into learning how to glue everything else together
Right.
to make the rod from a bare blank.
Okay.
So yeah, I've been doing that off and on since 1976. So
And so all of a sudden, did the demand pick up to where you said to yourself, well, hey, I need to start doing this for other people? Or do you do it, do you sell them online as well? Or?
I don't really promote the rod building side of it. I mean, Team Tide went on. I built all their rods.
Okay, well, obviously they're doing something right because
That's
they
right.
use. So far, so good, right?
Yeah. So yeah, and I have built plenty of them over the years.
Gotcha. Mhm.
But I tend to. It's not that I won't, but I tend to try and just do it for myself and friends.
Understood.
Yeah.
But this now you'll sell to
Oh, absolutely. The rigs
individuals.
is actual business. So,
Uh-huh.
that I've been promoting. I've been doing it now probably 5 years, I think. I've been
Okay.
doing it. So it picks up
And-
a little bit every year. So
Well, that's all you can ask for.
That's right.
I mean,
it's been a steady growth, and sometimes it's all I can handle. So.
oh, really?
Yeah, because I make all the rigs myself, so I don't have anybody helping me do it. So when somebody orders 100 rigs, that takes a little bit of time
I
to
guess
do.
it does.
Yeah.
And they're very nicely done. I know it's difficult to see, but I would say, and you would agree, this is professionally done. I mean,
Well, thank you. Yeah.
I think.
Well, I'm selling them to people, and I want them to have top quality. So I've got to, I've got to make them something that I know is going to work for them. And we offer, 4 different kinds of wire, 5 different kind of hook. See, it'll catch you too.
Yeah.
5 different kind of hook.
They're very sharp.
configurations. So it's.
So tell me about what kind of boat you guys on the fishing team are on right now.
Right now, the team I'm fishing with out of Southport has a 27-foot Onslow Bay.
27 Onslow Bay.
27 Onslow Bay.
And that falls right in that category of what I would call a king mackerel style boat.
Absolutely.
Let's name some others, shall we?
Sure.
I would say a yellowfin.
Absolutely. Contender is a big
Contender.
one. Fountain is back. They're
Back
still
in
around
the day,
a little bit.
Fountain's still
Yep.
around. I see them around
Our
occasionally.
personal boat is a Cape Horn.
Cape Horn,
Chris has a Triton.
Triton.
So
yeah.
they're, but you
All
know,
these boats
Yeah.
meet the requirement of being able to run fast, to get out there, to beat the elements,
right.
and to get some live baits in the water as quickly as possible.
That's correct.
Because, I mean, again, I'm just hearkening back to when we used to go live baiting. I mean, if we could get on the fish, it was on.
That's right.
And now, of course, we're talking about king mackerels, but you never know what you're going to catch when you put a live bait out.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's another really cool thing about using live bait,
Yeah.
especially out of the Big Rock and so
Oh yeah.
forth.
We've
I
caught
mean,
plenty of big wahoo.
yeah, big
plenty of them.
wahoos, dolphins.
Yep. Amberjack, sharks, barracuda.
You
I mean,
never know what you're going to
grouper.
catch.
We've caught grouper on the downrigger live
Yeah,
bait
there you
before.
go.
You know,
Yeah.
snapper down in the Gulf. We've caught big snapper.
Mm-hmm,
So it's
Now, your mother, you had mentioned your mother earlier. She used to run or have the boat, the Oh Lucky Me.
that's correct.
And I remember those days back
Yeah.
during the Big Rock days.
Yeah.
Of course, you miss your mother.
Of course, yes.
But what were some of those experiences like back in those days?
Oh God, we had a ball. I mean, we fished. We would take our boat south in the wintertime and fish Palm Beach Circuit and fish the Bahamas Circuit.
Right.
And, you know, Mom came in third place overall in the Bahamas Billfish Championship, I think in 1988.
Wow.
We won one of those legs. You know, she and I have traveled all over the world. We've been to the Azores, we've been Venezuela, St. Thomas, Cabo San Lucas, Mazatlan, Acapulco, Hawaii, Panama, 15
She clearly
times,
had a
yeah.
fishing bug, didn't she?
Oh yeah, she enjoyed it very thoroughly.
And sounds like thankfully was able to go to all these fabulous places.
Yep. She did in the IWFA Hall of Fame.
Is that
So,
right?
Yeah. So she's she
And
was
tell
quite-
everybody your mother's name now.
Diane Locke.
Diane Locke.
Yeah.
So that's a very interesting story in and of itself.
Yes, it is. Yes. Very.
So, what is one of your most memorable experiences from those times? Would you say?
Well, of course, winning that one leg of the Bahamas Billfish Championship was quite a good time. The Azores, when we went to the Azores, we had 13 blue marlin bites in one day. And we
Wow.
caught 7 of them.
Okay.
But later that week, my mom caught one that was about 750 pounds. It was a big girl.
Wow. How about that?
Yeah, that was memorable. That was a lot of fun. So, yeah. And then, you know, we had some good times in Panama and Guatemala. So, yeah.
So out of that came your love for fishing, obviously.
Correct.
And then you came down here in the 70s.
Yep.
And the rest is kind of history.
The rest is kind of history. Yeah.
So how about some of your fishing escapades over the years in the king mackerel world? You got anything interesting that stands out? Like, I'm sure you've won money in tournaments and stuff like that.
Sure. One of our best times was a couple of years ago. The SKA had the national championships here.
Yes.
We came in second place overall.
Nice.
That was exciting. We
Yeah.
caught the biggest king we'd ever caught in a tournament. I think it was 52.5 pounds.
Nice.
And, you know, and backed it up with about a 35, and somebody came in with a 60 and a
Wow.
35. So, you know,
That's about the limit, the size limit for the king mackerels here? It seems to be 60-ish pounds.
Yeah,
or
you start catching fish in the 60s, you're getting into a unique group of
yeah,
people.
I mean,
The
the only reason I say that is because you go to the Gulf of Mexico,
yeah.
and they catch a 60-pounder, they're throwing him back.
Yeah.
You know,
A lot of times.
because they just seem to grow bigger there or something. So, but agreed. I mean, anywhere from 40 to 60 pounds, you're thinking you got a winner.
Oh yeah,
typically.
absolutely. Depending upon the time.
Why that is?
Yeah. Well, it's just
That's
it's
the
got
size
a lot
limit?
to do with the time of the year.
Okay.
So this time of year, if we're king fishing and we catch a 40-pounder,
Yeah.
we're feeling good.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
You catch a 40-pounder in October,
Yeah.
and you're like, meh, it
okay.
might place, it
Right.
might not.
Uh-huh.
So it just depends on the time of the year
see.
when you're going to catch,
And
because the
that
big girls show
coin-
up in the fall.
Okay, so that's then going to coincide with the championship.
That's correct. That's the main reason the championship is in November, so we can go out and try and
And
get
so
big
in
numbers.
the between now and then, do you guys fish like, say, the Atlantic Beach King Mackerel tournament? And
Yeah, that
those
month-long
tournaments?
tournament in October.
Uh-huh,
Sure,
yeah,
we'll enter that.
There
and
are a
pick
lot
couple
of good
days.
tournaments out there for king fishing.
Lots of them. I think on my docket, I had close to 18 tournaments I'm fishing this year.
Wow.
So it's a busy and it's getting ready to. I've had a 1 week break, and now I'm going to be going hard until August, and then I'm pretty much off the month of August, and then starting in September, it's going to be 3 out of 4 weeks each month. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, that's when you know you're serious.
I think so.
When
Yes.
you kind of plan your schedule around
the
the
tournaments. That's right. Yeah.
That's
honey,
very
we can't go anywhere. I got a tournament
right.
next week.
Yeah, that's very interesting.
So
Well, then, let me see. What else? We've talked about the tackle. Yeah, if you had to say what are the top 5 king mackerel tournaments, kind of in our area or in the
Sure.
southeast,
Sure.
what would you say they are?
well, obviously I would say the Cape Lookout Shootout is one of them.
Now, did that used to be the KWA,
No,
or help me
what-
understand that?
Several, I can't remember. I think this is the 8th year for the shootout. And
Okay.
8 years ago, the SKA, which
SKA,
was the
that's right.
huge thing,
Yes.
went defunct.
Ah.
So now all of a sudden, people are scrambling around trying to figure out what we're going to do as far as fishing tournaments, because we like to fish
Sure,
tournaments.
yeah.
So Chad Shingleton and David Chavis and Mike Williams and a couple other guys got together and if I remember correctly, over a napkin at dinner one night, came up with this idea for the Cape Lookout Shootout.
Gotcha.
And that started out at 50 boats. They were going to cap it at 50 boats and do this 3-tournament thing with the championship, and that sort of took off, and it morphed from that to 60 boats, where it's capped at today. And then it went. They took the North Division, and then they started the South Division. So that has grown it with them very well over the few years. But that tournament, there's a couple tournaments that are still popular out of here. They just had one last weekend. The Bone Sucking Sauce, because the Bone
Okay,
Sucking Sauce
yes.
sponsors it.
Right, yep.
Coming up in August is Sneed's Ferry. Then we have the Raleigh Saltwater Fishing Club. They used to have one in July. They've moved that to November now. And the Troopers, Al Morris runs a tournament that benefits the North Carolina Troopers.
Yes.
So that coincides with a new tournament that I'm proud to be a board member of, that we started last year, called the Morehead City Open.
Okay, nice.
And we
Tell us about that one.
Yeah, that has turned out that all the tournaments have basically what you call a Calcutta. So you pay your basic entry fee, and then you can pay other money to up your chances of money that you're going to win. What we decided to do was, it's going to be a 1 entry fee, and then we're going to break it down so it's $5,000, 60 boats. First place is 150 grand. And then it trickles down from there. I think we're paying the top 10 places, and even 10th place gets their money back, their $5,000.
Nice.
So, that's turned out, that's very popular. We were 50 boats
So-
last year, 60 boats
So
this
that's no chump change.
No, it's serious money.
serious money.
Yeah, and we got boats from Florida coming, and so it's exciting.
So when is the Morehead City open, you calling it?
Yes, it's in October.
In October?
Yeah, I think the second week of October.
Well,
yeah,
in that
second
case, what we'd like to do is invite you back.
Well, I'd love to.
In, sometime in another couple of months.
Absolutely.
Once some of these tournaments have gotten under your belt, and maybe you can give us an update
Absolutely.
on how well you're doing. Sounds like you're well underway to
Well, we're
having a
trying.
good season this
Yeah,
year.
well, so far,
has
so
has
good.
it been a good season for king mackerel fishing yet, or?
As far as, obviously we've been real fortunate
Mm-hmm.
as far as the size fish we've caught. There hasn't been a lot of fish being caught.
Oh, interesting.
It's but
Well, again, it's still early. I mean,
it's
we're
still
waiting for the
early
water
and
temperature to change
yeah,
still a little
and
bit.
So, but it's been decent.
I mean, I noticed some of the pier guys are out there now.
And we'll keep an eye on that.
Uh-huh.
Don't let that get. The tournament fishermen pay attention to that.
to what the pier guys
That's
are doing.
right.
Sure.
We'll take a look at the major piers coming up the coast.
If the king
and see
mackerel is
what they're
close enough
doing.
to
That's
be at
right.
that
It
pier.
might give us an idea where we might want to fish.
Right on.
That's right. Yeah.
Well, Scott, it has been a most interesting time speaking
Well,
with you,
thank you.
sir.
I
And it's
appreciate
my
it.
distinct pleasure. So
Thank you.
with that, I'm going to say thank you very much.
Oh, it's my pleasure.
and
Thanks
I
a
look
bunch.
forward to having you back.
Well, I look forward to
Alrighty.
coming back. Yeah,
And
absolutely.
we will look forward to seeing you guys in 2 weeks' time. We decided to, for the time being, go every other Thursday. We'll go live, and of course, you can watch it on YouTube and so forth when at your own discretion and at your own time. But we do want to say thank you so very much for your interest in our show. And so until next time, this is Rick Cowell signing off. We'll see you then.